Do you know what it's like to be completely, utterly, and genuinely happy? The kind of happy that only exists in books from the 20th century. The kind of happy that people spend their entire life searching for. Does it even exist? 80 years is how long we're supposed to be alive. But can you honestly say you lived? They say the meaning of life is love, maybe family, or money, power, science, beliefs, education, happiness, death. But we spend our whole lives being the same as everyone, the same as our neighbours, or the old man in the grocery store, the lady at the coffee shop, the child in the playground, the same as each other. Our generation thinks they're different, but being relatable is being the same. We're all sheep, eating and sleeping and reproducing and manufacturing goods until we get sent to the abattoir, which is the inevitable fact of the end. Whatever the end may be, whatever you want it to be. Our world is separated by people who love the idea of them and hate the idea of others. People are so caught up in the urge to be right, or maybe it's just the need for composure. A person will sit in an office for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. They get home to a microwavable can of beans and sit on the couch pretending to laugh at the mindless humour a reality show offers. They go to sleep in an empty bed and wake to repeat it all, constantly in a loop, a cycle that never ends, until it does. And for what? As you sit on that couch thinking eventually something will happen, the clock ticks and nothing ever does. Constant, never changing, until you sit on that couch for the last time and maybe, if you're lucky, you'll be alone. No one to hurt and no one to be hurt by, because that is the meaning of life, to feel and to forget. It's funny how something can be so deceiving. A friend who promises to have your back only to run away when things get tough, leaving your bare skin open to the evil that lurks in the dark. A company who portrays their business as community-based but pays children in a starving country 10 cents an hour to make a shirt they sell on for $50, fooling their buyers and earning their undeserving cash. A common case which I present to you as the inevitable stupidity of society. People get sucked in like a rip on a summer's day, but nobody can ever see the unfolding, ever-changing tremors that modernistic viewpoints are having on our fractured society. The conception of humanity will always trump the conception of morality. Is that what we want our history to look like? In 100 years, when our children's children live on a spacecraft, watching the earth fall beneath them, I don't want them to think the meaning of my life was to survive. Because I didn't. I'm not. I'm keeping my mouth above the water, but the cold is numbing the rest of my limp body and I'm scared I'm about to go under. Aren't you? But as such, we power through to the utmost strength we can derive from our tired bodies, because that is how we live, and for it to be any different would be foolish. We face the hardship and we grow. We bloom and learn and thrive because we have no other ways to truly overcome. In the eyes of all those who breathe, there must be some element of fear. Everything that means something in life has fear. Fear that it will run out sooner rather than later. Fear that it will stop altogether. Fear that it simply means nothing. An idea that has been created by people, for people, against people. Our time on this earth revolves around the time we have left on this earth. And instead of embracing it, we fear it even more. We worry constantly about things we have caused or can't control. Drought, famine, mental illness, climate change, a crashing economy. Life, a beautiful yet evil conception. What is the meaning of my life? Because I know those who have found money or power are not happy, and those who have found happiness are not wealthy and die lonely. Everything is changing. The sewers are murky with 1 million lonely deaths, but there are no rains to wash them away. Our farmers cannot find water for themselves, let alone their cattle. They die, we die. The climate is changing, but the system refuses to. Our planet is rolling towards extinction, but there's no one to pull the handbrake up. If Marty McFly was even capable of seeing the changes occurring around us, there would be a sequel. Finally, the future. The meaning of life is whatever you make it, not a plan, but an idea. If you die knowing you lived, you die knowing you won. It is, after all, one big game. You're born into a machine, trapped as it's slowly rusting away, and it's up to all of us to pour the vinegar over. But it might just be too late. So here I present to you one simple idea. We spend our short lives wanting things. Materialism and the need for social engagement through the exposure to drama and modern opinions is what feeds us and can be easily associated with society's obvious downfall. We spend so much time needing these things, these small, unimportant things, that we don't sit and take a short minute to think. Watch the grass grow, a saying which is defined as dull or boring and a waste of time. But what if we did sit and watch the grass grow? What would we learn? We would learn peace. Simplistic, calming, rare peace. So here's my idea. If you waste your life searching for the meaning of it, you'll never find the intention of it. So what if instead of being alive, you lived?
Firefighters in Southern California are working tirelessly around the clock to contain several fast-moving wildfires.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!
Climate activists here in Brisbane are showing no signs of slowing down.
But economists, especially cottoning to the number. While markets seem to think bad news is good news because it brings in the Fed, economists see signs of reduced economic growth ahead.
What does it mean to live a meaningful life, and how can mindfulness help?
I see the brand names all the time. The tags remind me the tags I've seen in Rana Plaza collapse.
For the first time in a decade, these paddocks are without crops on Peter Mailer's farm.
So the question of what does life mean is the kind of question you ask when, again, your attention is not making satisfying contact with the present moment.